name's Fiona. Welcome to Cooking the Books, episode 2. So my choice of book today is Robert Carrier, Great Dishes of the World. It's a great big tome, there we go, and very famous. Published in 1963, around about the time that Robert Carrier came to Britain. He was born in America but spent many years in Europe and eventually settled in England. Opened restaurants, wrote for the Telegraph, Harper's Bazaar, Vogue, opened a cookery school, had 2 very famous restaurants, and was a general bon vivant, and was probably one of the first celebrity cooks, I think, apart of course from Elizabeth David. So we're going to do Rum Baba, which is probably something from a long time ago. I seem to remember as a child having Rum Baba, but I don't think my mother made it because she was a dreadful cook. So you see in front of us all the ingredients. I've had to sort of separate them out because at different points you need different amounts of the same ingredient. So we've got milk, sugar, flour, lemon rind, eggs, butter, and of course the main man, Spice Gold rum. You can use any rum you want. I don't think it matters. I wouldn't use white rum. So we're going to start by just heating up some of the milk, putting the dried yeast in and letting it froth. I've just warmed up the milk ever so slightly. I'm going to sprinkle in the yeast. Pop that there. You can do this with fresh yeast, but I couldn't get my hands on that, and I've not ever actually cooked with fresh yeast. I think I might have done in the cookery class a long time ago when I was at school, but apart from that. So just mix it all up together. It's dissolved. While I leave that for about half an hour, just so as it bubbles up, I'm going to mix 4 egg yolks with the lemon and the sugar. Just the lemon rind, if you can see it there. Pop that in.
Whilst you're beating that egg, Fiona, the largest rum producing company in the world is Tanqueray. And just a question for you and our viewer, which country is Tanqueray from? I'll give you the answer at the end of the video. Unless you want to have a guess now. You can have a guess if you want.
I'm going to guess. Right, I think I've finished beating the egg. It's meant to look light and fluffy, and it sort of does. That took ages with a fork. And now it's time for me to clarify the butter according to this recipe. The only thing is, the recipe doesn't give any quantities for the amount of butter I'm meant to be using. So I've looked up some other recipes and I've come to a conclusion that it should be about 3 ounces of butter. I don't know because other recipes, they don't clarify the butter. So we'll see. I think this recipe might be harder than I first thought. Right, I'm just melting the butter on a very, very low heat. Once it's all melted, turn the heat down, just leave it, and the sediment from the butter will go to the bottom of the pan, and on the top will be the clarified butter. Now the problem is getting it out of the pan without mixing the 2 back together again. Ideally you should have a muslin and that you can strain it through. Of course I haven't got one of those, so I'm going to use just an ordinary strainer, or rather a sieve. I sifted the flour in, so we'll see, hey? Okay, all the yeast appears to have dissolved in the warm milk. I'm now going to add a small quantity of sugar and flour to this mixture, and then we're going to set it aside, leave it to go frothy. And because I've not done this before, I'm not sure how long that takes, so bear with us. So pop that in. Right, I'm going to give this a go. It seems to be quite clear. It does it better than it did. But I probably should have gone out and bought a muslin cloth.
Or some ghee.
Oh, is this advice from your Indian days again?
Well, ghee is clarified butter, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Just thinking maybe one could use ghee.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah.
Most welcome. Right, I think I've got everything here. So we've got the egg mix with the lemon. I've heated some milk just very gently. I've got my clarified butter and my yeast mixture, which I'm told once it looks spongy that it's ready to roll. So let's have a look, see that? Now I make a well in the centre, which I've already done, and I just pour that in. Let's take so that's the yeast mixture, and then this is another quick beat. And pour that in as well. So the yeast mixture and the eggs are in there. Now the recipe requires that I mix this by hand and then gradually add the milk. So here we go. Well, that was quite a workout. I'm quite exhausted. Now I'm going to add the clarified butter. So that's all mixed in now. So I'm just going to put a warm tea towel over the top. I'm going to put it in a warm, well, warmish place. This kitchen's a bit chilly, so I'll take it upstairs. And then we've got to wait for it to double in size. I'll see you in a while. Well, the dough has risen inside, it's just about doubled, and now I'm going to punch it back down and place it in my mixer with a dough hook and give it a final beating till it all comes away from the sides of the bowl, and then I'm going to put it into its final resting place, which is a greased savorin bowl, and I've also put sugar around as well. As it heats up, it helps to coat the sides, so that the actual mixture, when cooked, comes out easily. That's the theory, but again, I can remember doing things in the past, not this recipe, but others where you just have to scoop it out of the bowl with a spoon. But anyway, let's hope that doesn't happen with this one. So here we go. Seems such a shame, doesn't it, after it's risen all that much?
This is knocking back, is it?
This is knocking back, yeah. Get you and your fancy phrases. Actually feels really nice. Somehow feels like it's doing your skin good. And now I just pour the mix into the container that we're going to cook it in. And once it's all in there, we're going to leave it to rise again. Give it a bit of a... There. Right. I'm going to cover it, put it somewhere warm, and we'll look again in about half an hour.
Okay.
Right. Now, I gave it a second rise, and to be quite honest, I think this is a disaster. I'm going to leave it to cool before I try and empty it out, but I think this has gone wildly wrong. It didn't rise like it should have done. It's slightly burnt in parts, but it might taste okay.
It smells good.
Yeah.
It does smell good.
But this recipe has taken about 5 hours to complete, and I'm never doing it again.
You haven't done the rum sauce yet.
I'm about to do the rum sauce. Thank you for reminding me. Noise is off. But I'm going to let that cool a bit before I turn it out, and in the meantime I'm going to make the rum sauce. I'm now melting the sugar in the water till it makes quite a thick syrup, And then I'm going to add about 6 tablespoons full of rum. I'm going to try and empty that out of that pan. And then I'll prick it all over and I'll pour the sauce in. 5, 6, and 1 for luck, 7. Right, I've tried to loosen it from around the pan and I've not had much luck, and I'm going to let it cool a little bit further, but I'm going to turn it over onto this plate. I don't think I have to worry about doing anything other than that. I think the chances of this coming out are nil.
Chances of breaking the plate are pretty good.
Yeah, well, you're very funny. I've spent all day doing this. So we'll just wait and see. Well, I had to seek help to get this out of the tin. It was beyond my puny muscles. So my cameraman managed to get it out. It's very solid. I'm about to prick it to make holes to pour the rum syrup in. Here we go.
The rum will soften it up.
Okay, well, I've taken a slice out. Again, it was a bit crunchy, but served with the fruits, it's got the syrup going through it, and the cameraman is now going to test it because I think I'm a bit jaded.
It's actually tasty. It's like a fruity, tasty sponge cake.
But not a Rum Baba.
Not terrifically much like a Rum Baba, but it is tasty.
So it's edible.
Oh yeah, definitely edible. Would you like to sum up?
Well, I don't really know what to say because I haven't enjoyed this at all. It's been fraught. The recipe isn't clear. If you were going to have a dinner party and you were going to do this from scratch using that recipe, I'd just say don't bother. You'll be there for days, you'll regret it, and it might not work. I'm sure I did things wrong. It won't just be the recipe's fault, but it wasn't a full recipe and they had made mistakes about quantities. But I'm glad it tastes okay. But I think it would have been better if I'd just drunk the bottle of rum.
Fair enough.
I'm signing off.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.
I'll give you the answer at the end of the video. Unless you want to have a guess now. You can have a guess if you want.
I'm going to guess. It's going to be something strange, something like the Philippines.
You've got it in one. Well done. That spoilt the quiz.